Hi Stampers, it's Nancy from Stampin'shout.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, this week I am creating with the Countryside Corners stamp set, and it also has coordinating dies. Now this is a bundle, but there's also a coordinating embossing folder and coordinating designer series paper. This is called the Country Corners in Designer Series paper, 12 by 12 sheets. Isn't it beautiful? Lots of pretty blues. But before we get started with today's card, I want to announce last week's winners. And for those of you that don't know, anyone who leaves a comment during my videos is entered to win that day's card. So last week, we did the Brood for You cards. This was the first one, and it's going to Hilton Kendrick. This fun fold card is going to Deborah Forrester, 7873. The gift card holder, Nancy Acola. The Pretzel and Beer fun fold card, Andrea Sutherland, 1348. And the pocket card is Jean Brinker. So all you need to do is to email me your email address, and you can email me at stampin'shout@gmail.com. So let's talk just a little bit about the stamp set and the dies before we get started. So the stamp is one big stamp with all these pretty details in it. And I'll bring in a scrap and I'll show you how to ink this up and what it looks like. So I'm going to ink it up in something bright so you guys can see it. So I'm going to put the stamp pad down and then ink it like this. So with the stamp that's this big, that's the easiest way to do it. And then we'll lay it on a piece of basic white. You can stamp this in any color on any color cardstock, of course, and get lots of pretty, pretty designs. So that is what it looks like. And then we have 7 different dies. And by the way, when you visit my website for the directions, when I'm talking about different die cuts, there's 7 die cuts here, and I'm going to start with the largest one and call that die cut 1, die cut 2, die 3, die 4, die 5, die 6, and die 7. So that's how it'll be in my instructions. So basically you can take this die and you can cut the whole entire thing out and just leave it like that and add to it. And then again, you can cut layers and you can get lots of different sizes. So as we continue through the week, you're going to see several cards that I did, and you'll be able to see a little bit better on how to use them and what to cut out and get some different ideas and go ahead and make your own cards. Today's card is a pretty designer series paper card. So this is actually some of the paper from the Countryside in designer series paper that I just showed you, and it's also embossed. So that embossing folder can actually emboss this paper exactly as it is laid out. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's really nice to feel that embossed texture. So let me just show you really quick how you would do that. You have to kind of pick the paper that you want, the area of the paper that you want to use, and then line it up inside the embossing folder. So I find that if you do a 4 by 6 sheet, you can generally line it up so the big flower is right there in the center, and you just line it up and emboss it. But you don't have to use this paper. This embossing folder can be used with anything. And I do have a couple of cards this week that I'll be sharing with you, and I have one at the end of the video that I want to show you too. So make sure you stick around. So my videos are really quick and short, to the point. I basically do all the fast forwarding for you so you can stay to the end, and then you can go stamp your own card real quick, real easy. And I hope you are enjoying the shorter videos. If you are, leave me a comment and let me know. So let's bring in today's supplies. And all of the information from today's video will be at stampin'shout.blogspot.com. So the sizes and all the supplies I used and shopping links will be there. If you do shop with me, this is my host code. And thank you ahead of time for shopping. I appreciate it. So I have a basic white card base, and it's going to be the vertical opening. And I have a piece of that designer series paper. And then I have boho blue as a mat. And I have a mat for the inside, boho blue, and also white. So first thing I did was I did put this through that embossing folder, and it is all nice and textured. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into strips. So I have the strips cut out, and now I'm just going to glue them to our boho blue mat piece. So we glued down our textured little pieces of designer series paper, and I'm just going to attach that to the front. Also for the front, I'm going to bring in some scraps. So I have a piece of boho blue, and I ran that through the embossing folder too to give it some texture. And then I have a little scrap piece. Now I went ahead and cut these out ahead of time with the dies. So this gives you an example of a couple of the dies and what they do, just like that. So let me go ahead and stamp the greeting on here, and I am going to use boho blue ink and the sentiment, "I'm so thankful." This is really pretty font. And let me show that to you close up. So it's really, really pretty the way it's written. And we're going to attach these two together. And then I also cut out of die 7 this little teeny tiny piece. I cut in the Night of Navy, and I'm going to just cut it in half. And then I'm going to attach it to the back of this piece. So it's going to look like a little bit of a banner or a little bit of a bow. Just add some more interest to our pretty card. And then we're going to pop that up on the front of our card with some dimensions. For the inside, I have another little strip of that designer series paper. I'm just going to lay that at the bottom. Seems we always have extra little strips of designer series paper, and it really looks pretty when you put it on the inside of your card instead of letting it go to waste. Now we'll just glue this to the inside of our card. And there you go, your first card. So let me show you another card that I did that's kind of similar. This one here. So on this one, I embossed the boho blue cardstock, and then I cut it in strips horizontally, and then I added a layer of the designer series paper, and that's embossed too. So this has a lot of texture to it. And I just ran that designer series paper through the machine with the die cut and ended up with this pretty little card. So I hope you liked today's card. Remember to leave comments. I will have all of the information on my website. And until next time, don't be shy. Stamp and shout.